Hi everyone, my name is Yen. I am a rep here at the Office of Sustainability, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about ethical purchasing, more so in the realm of fashion and what this means and can look like in your life. Let's just go over the definition of ethical purchasing. What this means is a type of consumer activism that is based on the concept of dollar voting. So you're voting with your money, and whenever you're purchasing something, you're not only thinking about yourself, but on the environment and the people who are making your items. There's actually a really great documentary out there called The True Cost. I watched it 2 to 3 years ago, and it got me thinking more into what I buy as a consumer and how this affects the world at large. And it really dissected the fast fashion industry, how this affects the environment, the workers, and their communities. So I highly recommend it to anyone who's not seen it before. It was really informative. What exactly is fast fashion, first of all? This is just inexpensive clothing being mass produced at a rapid rate so that retailers can keep up with the latest trends. And we as consumers can very much tell how fast fashion trends come and go. People don't realize that when they're taking something off the shelf, the item that they're buying comes from a country where people don't have the same freedoms and the same rights as we do, and these people don't have a voice and share their opinion about how this all affects them. So in a way, whenever we're purchasing something very ethically made, we are also speaking up for the voiceless and letting companies know that we care about the environment, their environmental footprint as a business, as well as how they're treating their workers. We understand these things and we're keeping watch of it. Environmentally, fast fashion industry is actually the second largest polluter in the world, next to the oil industry. Factories are releasing so many gas emissions, and this really affects our air quality, the environment, and the communities who are living nearby these areas and having to breathe in these dangerous toxins. And in many countries where garment factories are located, factories are dumping toxic wastewaters into the rivers without even giving care about it. And this is extremely harmful to aquatic life, as well as communities living by these riverbanks, people who are needing to use this water. And on top of that, millions of trees are being cut each year just to make our clothes. So we need to keep in check different companies and how they impact the environment just to make these clothing pieces. Secondly, we're going to be talking about workers' pay. As of today, there are about 40 million garment factory workers, and majority of them are being paid less than $3 a day. And of course, companies can say, yeah, these workers are being paid minimum wage in their own country, and at least we're giving them a job. But there's actually a very big difference between minimum wage and a living wage. Living wage just basically represents the minimum amount of money that they need to live and have basic needs every day, such as rent, food on the table, education, healthcare, things of that sort. And many of these workers aren't really able to put food on the table every day, or they struggle to find food on the table every day, just for themselves or their family. So we need to take that into consideration. Third is workers' conditions, such as the health and safety of these workers and where they're working at. Big brands like H&M, for example, have cut their prices so low to where a t-shirt can cost as little as $1. And in turn, manufacturers don't have enough money to take care of their workers as well as keep up with factory maintenance. Employees are having no ventilation where they're working at, they're breathing in toxic substances, and really got to witness how factory maintenance is so poor in 2013, where there was a Rana Plaza factory collapse. There was a death toll of about 1,134 people. So garment workers aren't only having to work in dangerous conditions, they're having to work 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, and especially during peak seasons, they're having to stay up to 2 to 3 a.m. just to meet the brand's deadlines. And the wages are so low to where they can't really refuse overtime, aside from the fact that if they did, they would be fired. So we need to keep these different businesses in check, just have transparency about these issues so that we can really support the workers as well as the environment. In today's world, we don't really get a way to tell the difference between good marketing and an actual good company. So that is where certifications come in place, there are 2 certifications I'm going to be talking to you about. One is B Corp and another is Fair Trade. To achieve the certification, businesses have to meet goals and benchmarks in areas including how they treat their workers, their environmental impact, as well as how they work with underserved communities. So any for-profit company can earn the certification from an LLC to a corp, and you can visit bcorporation.net just to see which companies out there are the highest in these goals and benchmarks and are considered B Corp certified. Another one is Fair Trade certification. In a similar way, this certification also looks out for workers and the environment, but I believe this is more so in the realm of food and produce and coffee and things of that sort, but also in textiles. And their basic standards are like minimum price for trade, no forced labor, ban on use of GMOs, etc. So you can visit fairtrade.net if you want to look at the basic standards as well as the different companies that are Fair Trade certified. So when you're purchasing something very new, you can look into companies that are B Corp certified, Fair Trade certified, and the items, making sure that they're ethically made, and buying from them in a way we can vote with our money and let different companies know that they should follow in the footsteps of those companies and really treat their workers fairly, pay them living wage, have them work in good and safe conditions, and making sure they're keeping track of their environmental footprint. But aside from that, another option that you can look into is thrifting or buying secondhand or borrowing from people. When you're purchasing secondhand, you're no longer demanding more CO2 emissions, no more water usage, and no more labor. So this is also a great way that you can get more clothing, and you can definitely look into this before buying something entirely new. For example, I'm going to show you these clothing pieces that I've gotten from thrift shops before. I buy a lot of my stuff from Goodwill and Family Thrift Center, things of that sort, and it goes from casual everyday clothing to business, and I can find all of this just in thrift stores for super cheap, like $1 or $2, and we know these items are being rebought, so they're having no impact on demanding more labor and more environmental footprint. And if you're wanting to buy something entirely new, you can support ethical brands such as Patagonia, as I mentioned. So this is a jacket that I've had for 3 years now. It is still in perfect condition, and most of the times we realize that these brands are extremely expensive. However, they're paying their workers fairly. They're making sure that their factory is being under maintenance and are in healthy working conditions. And their materials are also recyclable or using recycled materials to produce these items. So we know they're very conscious about the environment and their footprint. So I hope this video helps you learn more about how you can be a more conscious consumer and buy more ethically, and gives you more information that you didn't know before. But yeah, in that case, I hope you guys have a happy Earth Day, and thank you for coming to my video.